Hello class. Uh, Continuation of our microbial diversity. So we have part 2, eukaryotic microbes. So let's begin with this slide. Algae. Okay. Algae in singular it is alga. So algae are photosynthetic eukaryotic organisms along with protozoa, okay, another eukaryotic organism. So they are commonly classified under the kingdom Protista in the five kingdom system of classification. And these algae and protozoa are referred to as protists. Okay, though it's still debatable because algae and protozoa should not be in the same kingdom. Okay, so some scientists still believe that they should be separated. Okay, so anyway, so the study of algae is known as phycology, or some called it algology. Okay, and the scientists who specialize in this field is called phycologists or algologists. Okay. Although algae are primarily known for their ecological and environmental roles, there are very rare causes of human infection. Okay, so algae have some rare cases of human infection. So example is this protodicosis. Okay, protodicosis, which is caused by the alga prototheca. Okay. So let me give you some illustration of this algae and protozoa. So we have amoeba, this one. Okay, amoeba is a protozoa. Eulogna, Euglena rather. Letter B, this one, yeah. It is also a this is a algae. Stentor, letter C, this one. Okay. It is a protozoa. Vorticella, letter D, yeah, this one. Okay, it is a protozoa as well. Letter E, Volvox, this. It is an algae. Okay. Paramecium, okay. F, it is a protozoa. So again, these are illustrations, no? Illustrations of both algae and protozoa. Just to give you some example of those algae. So I have this table. Okay, so basically algae are characterized based on its structural arrangement. Okay, whether it is unicellular or multicellular. Okay, it also characterized based on its color. Some are olive brown, green, golden olive, brown, yeah, red or red to black colored. Also, it is characterized by its photosynthetic pigments. Okay, the chlorophyll, the pigments of its chlorophyll, and as well as its habitat. Some algae thrive in fresh water and seawater. Some are predominantly seawater only, like that. Next, protozoa. So protozoa, in singular form, it is protozoan. Okay? Protozoa are eukaryotic microorganisms that, along with algae, are typically classified in the kingdom Protista of the five kingdom systems of classification. Again, so what I stated earlier, no? Some scientists separate protozoa and algae. So the study of protozoa is called protozoology. Okay, and the scientists who specialize in this field is known as protozoologists. Okay, protozoology, the study of protozoa, and the person who studied the protozoa is protozoologies. Most of protozoa are single-celled, free-living organisms, and their life cycle typically includes two stages. So we have the first one, trophozoite stage, where the protozoa are motile, feeding and in reproducing phase. And the next stage is cyst stage, where the protozoa is in non-motile, dormant, and resistant phase, which in this case it helps the organism or the protozoa survive in harsh condition. So this protozoa is also characterized based on its movement, okay, based on its structure actually. So when the protozoa it is called ciliates, okay, when means of movement is cilia, is based on its structure, cilia. Some are having pseudopodia, some move using their flagella, okay, some are non-motile, okay, not moving actually. Also, this protozoa is characterized based on its reproduction. Take note, class. Okay, protozoa reproduce either asexual or sexual. No? Some are both, some are only asexual. Okay, so in asexual reproduction, so majority undergo fission, okay, transverse fission, binary fission, multiple fission. So in short, during asexual reproduction of protozoa, it performs fission. Next, in sexual reproduction, okay, there's a conjugation, okay, there's a involvement of sex cells, okay. Usually in sexual reproduction there should be two cells, okay. In short, two cells are involved, two sex cells are involved in sexual reproduction, okay. And then like other microorganisms, so protozoa can cause also disease. Example of diseases are malaria, giardiasis, African sleeping sickness, amoebic dysenteries. Okay, so those are human disease caused by parasitic protozoa. Okay, and in order to prevent that, at least have a safe or potable water, okay, and have a good sanitation of your area, no? Next, kingdom fungi. Okay, fungi. So in the 5 kingdom system of classification, fungi, or in singular it is fungus, are placed in their own group, okay. So fungi has its own kingdom, which is kingdom fungi, okay. So the study of fungi is known as mycology, and the person who study the fungi is called mycologist. So it is important to note that neither algae nor fungi are classified as plants, okay. While algae are photosynthetic, fungi lack chlorophyll and are not capable of photosynthesis. Okay, take note again, algae and fungi are not classified as plant. And the difference between two is that algae is photosynthetic, and however this fungi is not. Okay, fungi exist in different forms. So fungi exists in a unicellular fungi or unicellular form, which is yeast, and another form is multicellular, which is called molds. Okay, so yeast are eukaryotic unicellular organisms that lack mycelia. So when we say mycelia, this look at this illustration. So mycelia is this root-like figure, root-like figure beneath the soil. So these are lack of this part. Okay, individual yeast cells, also known as blastopores and blastoconidia, okay, are microscopic and can only be seen under microscope. And usually, these yeast reproduce asexually through budding. Okay, through budding. Yeast are commonly found in soil, water, and on the surface of many fruits and vegetables. And these yeast are used for fermentation of wine, beer, and other alcoholic beverages. If you know Louis Pasteur, okay, Louis Pasteur discovered the naturally occurring yeast on the skin of grapes. Okay, and it is responsible for the fermentation of this grape, and later on it is used for the advancement in microbiology and the food industry. So so continuation. Okay, so since fungi is produced asexually, right, through budding, but some fungi produce sexually. Okay. So this when they have sexual spores, okay, in these sexual spores, there are two gametes that happen to be meet, okay, or fusion of two nuclei. Example of these sexual spores are ascospores, basidiospores, and zygospores. So typically fungi is characterized based on its reproduction. So some fungi is reproduced sexually, some are asexually. So yeah, they are classified, okay, based on its reproduction. When we say asexual spores, so it is produced without fusion of gametes. Yeah, that's simple as that, no? And take note, okay, some fungi are capable of both sexual and asexual spores. No? They are producing sexually and asexually. So characteristic of these fungal spores, okay. So these fungal spores are highly resistant structures that can survive harsh environmental conditions, including heat, cold, acids, bases, and various chemicals. And these spores are dispersed by wind. Okay, so they reproduce. Okay, so that's why you can see some spores sprouting in different area, because fungi sprouting in different area because of this wind. Okay, the spores are dispersed. Okay, spores traveled because or by wind. Okay, it traveled long distance by wind. And additionally, okay, fungal spores can cause allergic reaction to some people, and also from that it can lead to respiratory problems. So another form of fungi is this called mold, no, a multicellular fungi. So these molds are commonly found in water, soil, and on decaying food. They grow as cytoplasmic filaments known as hyphae, which collectively form a tangled mass called I cannot read. Mycelium. Okay. So there are two main types of hyphae. So the first one we have aerial hyphae, and the second one is the vegetative hyphae. Aerial hyphae extend above the surface of the substrate and are often involved in reproduction. So by looking at this illustration, so by focusing here in the right side, okay, so we have this aerial hyphae. These are fungi found in the surface of the substrate, in the surface, okay, above the soil. And this another hyphae is called vegetative hyphae, and this type of hyphae found below the surface, okay, and usually it involves in nutrient absorption. Okay. So additionally, molds have significant commercial importance because molds, if you know, molds is used for antibiotic producing medicine. Okay, if you are familiar with penicillin or penicillum rather, this penicillum was accidentally identified by Alexander Fleming, okay, which today is mainly used for antibiotics. Molds reproduce by spore formation either sexually or asexually, yes, and typically on aerial hyphae. So in aerial hyphae, those sexual and asexual reproduction process are performed. And in vegetative hyphae, its purpose is for nutrient absorption. Okay. Okay. Lichens or lichen. So lichen is a symbiotic association between two organisms. So it is a combination of, it is a special type of organism, microorganism. It is a combination of algae and fungus. Okay, they have the symbiotic relationship, and they appeared in a single organism. So lichens, or I wanna call it lichens. Lichens are commonly seen in natural environments such as forests, where they appeared as colored, often circular patches on tree trunks, rocks, or soil surfaces. So it's like a cabbage, or it's like a leafy vegetable. Okay, curly leafy vegetable that usually you can find it in the tree trunks, especially in a dark, humid area. Okay, not humid but moist area. Okay, so the alga provides the photosynthetic energy while the fungus offers the structure protection. So in short, they are having a symbiotic or mutual relationship. They combine each other, so they enable us to adapt in a harsh environment. Okay, slime molds. So another or special type of microorganism. Okay, slime molds are fascinating organisms found in soil and on decaying logs. They exhibit characteristics of both fungi and protozoa. Okay, so in lichens, it is a combination of algae and fungi. So in slime molds, it is combination of fungi and protozoa. So we have this one group known as cellular slime mold. So its life begins as independent amoebae that feeds on bacteria and fungi through phagocytosis. Okay, and when food becomes scarred, this amoeba aggregate and fuse. So forming a multicellular structure called slug. So in short, okay, this special type of microorganism, it happens because just it happens because they want to survive. Okay, it is simply the adaptation, the evolution. Okay, in order to survive this certain harsh environment. Okay, so the slug eventually transformed into a fruiting body consisting of a stalk and spore cup. Spores produced in the cup are later released into the environment, and from each spore, a new amoeba emerges, beginning the cycle anew. So that's how the slime molds reproduce, okay, through spores. Okay, so I think that will be all. So thank you for listening. So that will be the last part of our last part of this microbiology. Thank you, and I hope you learned something today.